In the deep realm of sleep, where the conscious mind drifts away, three men find themselves on distant islands, each shaped by an unseen burden. Salem awakens each night on the island of relentless tempests, a place of unending storms. The wind howls constantly, rain lashes down in torrents, and shadows of predators lurk in the darkness. The air crackles with tension, never offering him a moment of peace. His muscles ache from constantly fighting against the elements, his mind exhausted from always being on guard. Each night, the storm seems to intensify. The waves crash harder. The wind cuts deeper. Kylam tries to build shelter from the raging storm, but no matter how many times he reinforces the walls, the wind finds a way in. He gathers what little food he can find, often soaked and cold, and fights to keep himself going. As he sits shivering in his makeshift shelter one night, a voice in his mind whispers, "You must be strong. You must never show weakness." Kylam clenches his fists, feeling the pressure weighing down on him like the storm itself. "I can't let them see me falter." Eamon spends each night on the island of barren frost, a desolate place where the ground is covered in a thick layer of ice. The cold seeps into his bones, the silence around him only amplifying his feelings of loneliness. He trudges through the frozen landscape, his breath visible in the air, but finds no warmth. The only sound is the crunch of snow beneath his boots, reminding him of just how alone he is. At times, he calls out into the distance, hoping for an echo to answer him back. But there is only the biting wind. He wanders the island, feeling the chill deepen, the emptiness weighing down on his heart. He often stops at a frozen lake, looking at his reflection on the ice, and seeing a hollow, tired face staring back. The cold gnaws at him, a constant reminder of the warmth he has never known. Is this all there is? He wonders. Nivalis walks each night through the island of heavy shadows, where thick fog hangs in the air, and darkness shrouds everything in a suffocating embrace. The weight of the air presses down on him, making each breath a struggle. The whispers in the shadows grow louder as he walks, urging him to stay hidden, to bury his feelings deeper. He moves through the dense forest, his footsteps barely audible on the damp ground, the fog swallowing every sound. As the mist thickens around him, he feels his chest tighten, as though the shadows themselves are squeezing the life out of him. "I can handle this. I have to," he tells himself, clenching his jaw. But the truth is, the darkness feels endless, and he doesn't know how much longer he can keep moving. One night, after what feels like an eternity of suffering, each man discovers a bridge that wasn't there before. Kylam stumbles across a narrow path carved through the storm, leading toward a strange light on the horizon. Eamon follows a shimmering bridge of ice that seems to appear out of nowhere, guiding him toward a faint glow in the distance. Nivalis discovers an ancient stone archway at the edge of the fog, with a bridge of dark wood leading to an unknown place. The men arrive on a new island, where the air is still and the surroundings are a blend of all their elements: rain-soaked earth, frosted ground, and shadowy mists. At the heart of the island stands a massive stone pedestal with a sealed book resting atop it. The cover is inscribed with a riddle. 3 burdens weighed alone, must find strength together. Surrounding the pedestal are 3 stone pillars, each etched with a cryptic message in different languages. The men are wary of each other at first, suspicious of this place and each other. But the shared struggle draws them together, slowly, cautiously. Calum glances at the others, mistrust in his eyes. "What is this place?" he asks, his voice heavy with suspicion. Nivalis examines the stone pillars surrounding the book. "The answer might lie here," he says. The men begin translating the inscriptions, each finding that only one language is familiar to them. Calum reads from his pillar. The storm is unrelenting, but it does not have to be faced alone. Eamon translates his. The cold may be isolating, but warmth can be found even in the darkest places. Nivalis speaks the words from his pillar. The shadows may conceal, but they also hold the key to understanding. As they share the inscriptions, it becomes clear that the book can only be opened by addressing their burdens. But the men hesitate, unwilling to reveal their struggles. Finally, Calum breaks the silence. "I've faced the storm alone every night," he admits. "I've convinced myself that I need to be strong for everyone else, but it's breaking me." Eamon listens, then speaks up. "I've wandered the cold, feeling like I don't matter, like I'm invisible," he says. "I thought I could survive it, but the loneliness is crushing." Nivalis hesitates, then steps forward. "I've walked through the shadows, hiding everything inside," he says quietly. "The fog is so thick, I'm not sure I remember how to let anyone in." As they share their struggles, the book unlocks, revealing 3 stories written in different languages. Nivalis begins reading Calum's story aloud. It describes a man who works relentlessly, always striving to appear strong and in control, never allowing himself to show vulnerability. Calum recognizes himself in the story, his memories returning as he realizes how the pressure has isolated him from his own family. Calum reads Eamon's story, about a man who has wandered through life feeling like a ghost, unable to find connection or meaning. Eamon's memories rush back, reminding him of the years spent longing for something more, but never feeling worthy of it. Eamon reads Nivalis's story. It describes a man who has spent his life bottling up his emotions, burying his pain rather than seeking help. The memories flood back to Nivalis. The times he wanted to reach out but kept everything inside. The inscriptions on the pillars begin to glow, and as they continue speaking, the men start to realize that their struggles are interconnected. Calum, looking at Eamon, says, "I always thought I needed to bear the weight on my own. But maybe I don't. Maybe being there for others doesn't mean hiding how I feel." Eamon nods. "We all need connection, warmth," he says, turning to Nivalis. "You don't have to walk through the darkness alone, any more than I have to freeze in isolation." Nivalis takes a breath, looking at both of them. "We've carried so much alone, but maybe that's not how it's supposed to be," he says, his voice stronger. "We can share the weight." The 3 men place their hands on the book together, and it transforms into a bridge connecting back to their real lives. The paths back are no longer to islands of isolation, but to lives where they can make a change. They look at each other one last time, acknowledging the strength found in sharing their burdens. As they step onto the bridge, They carry with them the understanding that they are not alone, that they can face life's storms, cold, and darkness together. As our story comes to a close, we're left with a powerful reminder: no one should ever have to struggle with their burdens alone. The challenges that adults face today often go unspoken, and the stark truth is that men are far more likely to die by suicide than any other gender. The weight of expectations, the pressure to always appear strong, and the fear of vulnerability can all create a silent struggle that feels impossible to overcome. But it doesn't have to be this way. By opening up about our feelings and encouraging others to do the same, we can share our burdens and lighten the load. Sometimes, just knowing someone is there to listen, to understand, and to walk with you through the storm can make all the difference. Let this story be a reminder that there is strength in speaking up, that vulnerability does not mean weakness, and that seeking support is a courageous step toward healing. You are not alone, and by reaching out, you might not only lighten your own burden, but also help someone else lighten theirs. As you prepare to drift off to sleep, take a deep breath and release any worries that may be weighing on you. Allow yourself to feel the comfort of knowing that it's okay to seek help, to open up, and to share the journey with others. Close your eyes, relax, and let the soothing calmness guide you toward rest, knowing that you are supported and never truly alone. Good night.